Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. And today I'm actually quite excited to show you this one. This is the Lost Vault of Jesse James, made by Mr. Jesse Bourne. And this is I'll say it right up front, this is a sequential discovery puzzle that also has his panache for the, bringing you into the theme and the story more. I know I was hard on him a bit with Sea Chest, and I'll get into that and like my rationale and why I think this is an evolution for him. I did Sundial. I didn't make a video of it. You could feel Robert's influence there and the SD involved, but I would actually go to say that I actually think I like this one better at this point. This surprised me. It really did. And before I'd purchased this one, I'm not a big printed puzzle person. I figured this was just going to be another like escape room type puzzle. So, I signed up for Captain's Quest and I didn't sign up for this. So I didn't get it in metal. And I kind of want one in metal now. And we'll get into that too, the reasonings why. But I also thought that this clean version would be really sweet too. Some of the metal ones do look like they've been submerged in water. I have a friend, over by, a much more humid area, and his looks completely orange. Like it's almost indistinguishable across. And then I've seen others where it's like this, but just aged in metal. And so there are variations. Those are sold out. These are unlimited. So you can get one. It's $289, and I'll tell you right now, that's a steal. Absolute steal based on what I know about manufacturing stuff. And let's get into it. So let's take a look. This is the Lost Bank, Western Grand Bank Company. So I guess it's two banks. And it's called the Lost Vault of Jesse James. So it is a Western themed, gunslinger 1800s deal. On the side here we have wood veneer, laser etched, with a steamboat, so probably a target of theirs, because here we have a bank or Capitol building, and we also have a decoder ring. Don't let that fool you though. And then we also have a train, because they like to rob trains too. And then the bars here, they're brass, and this handle's brass, and this right here is wood, and these veneer panels are wood. And then the rest is printed. So it's a multimedia. And I've been hot about the multimedia things for a while now. I think that's a good way to go with producing puzzles. So let's get going on this. When you first mess with it, this back here isn't really going to give you much information. It's not for that. And here, let me just touch on this for a minute, because this is kind of what I was touching on with Sea Chest. There are a lot of like Etsy puzzle designers that will have maybe, let's say, both these spun, this spun and this spun. Well, you have 40 options here and 26 options here. There's a myriad of combinations you could stop this at. And a lot of those guys will give you like a riddle or a clue, an escape room type thing, so you can line it up and then a mechanism happens. And I've been hard on that with people. I say, if you're doing that, you're not really making a good mechanism. It's just a dial that you undo, just kind of like a combination lock, and you're given the numbers. But I'm talking about these sliding things, not an actual combination lock. That's different. That's actually quite impressive there. That's been printed. But what I'm talking about is, imagine if this had the letters, the numbers, and another row of numbers or symbols, and you had to like line up all three, and then the thing popped open, right? That's not using mechanisms. That's using riddles and information, clues. So I feel like that's a cop-out instead of making a good mechanism. Whereas I feel personally, the majority of the inner circle of metagrabologists, the mechanical puzzle guys, the MPDers and people that go to my Discord, they would much rather have no symbols or numbers on a 3-layer dial and just figure it out by feel and, feel where it kind of catches, and they prefer that because they're trying to do things mechanically. This is not a diss on this, guys. I am only spinning this and showing this as an example. I think this right here is fine, and I'll get into that too, because what I see this puzzle as, and I'll say it up front, this is like a go bag. If you're a criminal, a spy, someone that might have to get up and escape the law, right? You would have a go bag. I'm actually working on a puzzle like this, not this, but like a spy go bag. And in it, you would have, your passport, your fake ID, some credit cards you can use, cash, maybe some diamonds. You have to be able to maneuver financially in different markets, when you go underground like that, so to speak. And you might have a gun in there, right? A weapon of some sort. It would be your go-to thing, like, oh, shit hits the fan. This isn't gonna. People could steal your box, but they can't get into it. And that's a go bag. You grab this, you go. You can start a new life somewhere else. And this is kind of like either Jesse's personal vault that he kind of kept his stuff in just in case. And that's what it feels like. And it's kind of like a go bag too. So let's get to solving on this. I appreciate, on the other ones, they green the patina, things like that. There's a little patina here, but it adds to the charm. But I will say that this brass is like that kind that doesn't really patina. So if you try to move panels, you're not getting anywhere. This does nothing mechanically. It's something else. These aren't doing nothing. The top, I don't know the combination here. This, now you can kind of feel the printing here where you don't push, okay? Like this is elegant. So it seems like we need to kind of get into the safe as early as that sounds to be doing. You can try to like pull on the bars. Now a lot of criminals, when they rob the bank, they pull the bars out, right? So you can pull on them all, and they're not, but then two of them do move. So if I pull down on this one, that'll come out part ways. Not all the way, but if you pull on the second one, it does. So that's SD. That's mechanical. And it also gave me a bullet. It's actually like a spent bullet casing with wadding in it, is what I imagine the idea of that is. But what it really is here is a note. Now, my feedback on this, I think you should throw in a wooden toothpick. They're super cheap. If you buy a box of like 200, you're covered. Be like $5. Put a wooden toothpick in, because a cowboy would have a toothpick. It's like he just got out of the pokey. He needs to put the toothpick in, gather his cash out, whatever. You see what I'm saying? Get back into his feel. And by having a toothpick, you'd then have a way to get this thing out without having to pull out an extra tool or an external tool, because that's not easy to get out. I've tried the whole doing that for 5 minutes. It doesn't work. But inside the bullet here, and I don't know if that's even real or not. It sure seems real, which is a nice touch. It's metal, it's like, it says in here, and this is aged. It looks like something you put on a pigeon's foot. Behind the mask is a hidden face. Okay, so like the bandana on the face, you're a criminal, outlaw. Under the palm is a stolen ... Well, that's stolen ace, like, so you're doing something like this. Oops, I flashed. I probably shouldn't have. You playing cards, and you got your well, this is a 4 clubs. But anyways, that's the hidden ace. So that's in the palm is a stolen ace. Okay, so I'm going to put this back because I don't think I need it anymore. You're probably wondering what this wood stuff over here is. You should just learn about wood, guys. Wood is awesome. We're going to put that back in there. Now, the thing is that when you shut it, it pushes up so good that you can't leave that paper like sticking part way out. It just kind of pushes it back in. And then you got to use the bars. Oops. To get it back. And, oh, well, we didn't need to reset that. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Let's leave that bullet out for right now. But we will close the lid, just kind of keep it looking like a safe, right? So ace. Now, with the boat, There's nothing really screaming ace here. But what we do have is letters. And the interesting thing about ace is it's a 3-letter word. And most combination locks are a 3 different digit combination. Okay, so everything's logical so far. Like the fact he would hide, in a bullet is a little reminder of what his code was. And up here we've got 2 arrows. So it took me a moment to figure this out, but if you just start here, right, put the arrows together for A of ace, then it's giving you a 40. If I take that to a different letter, the arrow here points to a different number. So I imagine that's how it works. So if we go to C now, we have 32. So 40, 32, and then we have E here, which is 1. 40, 32, 1. Spin it and bring it back around here. And this should be readable. I believe that's wood. And now most combinations work this way, so we'll try it this way. You pass the number twice, and then you stop on it. So 40. And then you pass the number you have next. So there's 32, and I felt something there, like a plate or something. And we'll stop here on 32, and it's a little stiff. You can tell something's happening there. And then you would go straight back to the last number, which would be 1 here. So if you do it right, look how smooth that is. It's meant to work well. And when you open it up, look at that. In wood there, Jesse Bourne. That's classy. I like that. You see your mechanism here. I believe this isn't 3D printed. I believe it's a part of this, because you can see this is printed and bolted in. And come on, guys. Like a year ago, the last time I tried to make a puzzle myself, instead of just sending it out to people like I've been, this would have cost me a fortune to make for people. He's making this out of steel, $289. Like all this printing, screwing stuff down. Now, the one I was working on might have been better if I'd been allowed to screw things down for stability. The only thing I see here, and let's bring it up, is that this piece here seems to have less fill. It's less smooth, but it's also a functioning piece, so who cares? Let's look inside. We have a like revolver thing here, and as I'm turning it, you can kind of see this one spot's kind of open. We also have a newspaper clipping. Now, if you're a narcissist or a criminal, my mother's second cousin, so that'd be my third cousin, was one of Dillinger's crew. So I understand this. It's February 2nd, 1874. James Boys strike Little Rock Express. Gang of 5 masked outlaws escapes with $22,000. It's a lot of money back then. No one injured. Posse gives up chase. The posse being the police type thing back then. And then there's a whole story here, like a whole newspaper clipping. It doesn't have anything to do with the solve. This is just for the experience. And I can appreciate that, because now I'm reading it, I'm experiencing this whole like thought process of an outlaw, and like what all this stuff means to them. So yeah, I can really appreciate that thought process and not have to actually like find a hidden word in there to solve something. Now, I mentioned it before, but there is something wonky going on with this. You can see one of these, if you I'm trying to do this so you can see it, my massive hands. As you turn it, all of the insides of these are moving with it, except one. See how it's showing? Now, if you roll it back, you'll see there's actually a matching hole there. And it took me a while to figure this out, but that's what the shape of the bullet's about. You stick it in there like that, and you give it a turn, and this side slides up. It unlocks something there. Now we're done with this, but it was at this moment when I saw there was a keyhole here that I knew when I was solving this that I was really truly solving an SD puzzle. Also, I had tried to like do stuff with these and they don't. But when it opens, you see the pack of cards here? That's an actual Theory 11 pack of cards. It's a $13 pack of cards. A hell of a prize, especially for a puzzle that's under $300. I tried bending this and doing things with it to get it, but another SD trick. It slides right out once the blocking of the door is out of the way, and then you can pull the cards right out. Now at this point, you're expected to open the pack up. Because if you look here, there's a drawer here. It has an ace, or not an ace, but a spade. And you can see there's a slot here, which is really the size of a card. I just know from experience, being a professional magician out here in Vegas. Theory 11, I actually know these guys pretty well. They have a pack of cards. If Jesse, if you catch this, I don't know if you bought these in bulk, but they have one, or if it was Illusionist, not sure, but it's called the 1800. But I know it was popular enough that Bicycle picked it up. So you don't even have to get it like $13 a pack. And they are aged cards from the 1800s, but they're still like brand new. They just look that way. I don't know. Might be like a more fitting pack of cards for this. But you're to open it up and take a card out, which is why I had this card handy. I'm not going to open up a nice pack of cards like this unless, you know, there's a reason. But when I push it in, look at that. It made the drawer pop out. So let's get that out of the way. And in here, which is cool because in a safe you'd have a drawer and stuff, is a note. Not a note. It's a real key. Metal. And then they've made a actual express line ticket due for a specific date, kind of like what I was saying. You'd have like plane tickets and a go bag and that kind of thing. So he's ready to escape. And now if we use the key right here, like that, we get his actual stash here, which is a brass gold bar, and it's numbered, serialized, it has the Mexico, USA thing, the stamp, and it might even be numbered. I don't know if they all have different numbers or if this is just part of the look. But come on, that's another great, I mean, look at this. A real key, a bullet shell, tickets and stuff. Even the bottom of this is cork lined. It's heavy. Memorabilia, a pack of cards. Like, this thing just keeps giving to you. It's a very like generous puzzle, and this is a very cool thing just kind of have. It just looks neat. So, you know, that's where his real stash is. It's his gold bar. So let's put that back up, and that automatically locks. I need to use the card again here. That's open, right? Wrap it around the key. Oops, doing it upside down. Like that. Locks, nice and easy. Put our leg piece back in. Now the cards are locked back in. Move this so that's not obvious again. Shut the door. Oh, did I? I think I did something with the... Oh, there we go. So this had to be down for this to actually lock. And then we turn the dial, right? And then we're just going to go ahead and pop this open. Put our bullet back in, shut it, and you are completely reset. So very easy to reset, very casual, not any dexterity or knackiness. And let's get into the thoughts here. Oh, I like this puzzle a lot. I'm glad I got it. I wish I had a metal one now because I get it. That adds that whole more realism, that metal feel. you know, the mixed media as it stands now is still really nice. It's really clean, looks great on a shelf. I think that will cause people to ask questions about it. And if you have the metal one where it's more aged looking and heavier, you know, it's going to be a little bit more authentic. I don't know if I like these, and I'm not sure how they look on the other one. These scream plastic right here. I don't know if maybe they could have been like sanded or something to rough them up or like contour them a bit. I don't know. It's just a thought. There's not a lot you can do with hinges with this kind of thing, and it's an old school bank vault, of course. Look, man, hats off. You've come a long way. This is something that I felt, you know, with this whole thing, and you know, if you're just moving this stuff and you know, and you line up some little riddle, it's kind of a cop out for lack of a good mechanism. This is just information to crack the safe, which is an actual mechanism. There's multiple mechanisms here. There's multiple hidden things here. This is a steal. These things are unlimited. Don't buy too many because I want him to finish his other puzzles. But I imagine, you know, Sundial I didn't make a video on. It was different. And Rob has great ideas. I like to spitball ideas with Rob. And, you know, you could tell he was involved. And he, I think Jesse picked up some things in that interaction because he came back with this. Hopefully I get a chance to do Captain's Quest. I'm not sure, going through a whole thing in life. So I might not be able to, but I wouldn't mind, you know, I have a feeling the next evolution, I don't know if it'll be Captain's Quest because these were kind of parallel designs, and I know nothing about Alien, and I know Fibonacci is more of a puzzle box, and he said it's easy, but you know, if Captain's Quest has you do like decoding or something like that, I would imagine if it's filtered through a process that was more mechanical, kind of like how this was, then it'll be far more welcome to puzzlers. We want to see mechanical things. You know, the joy of puzzling to some of us is just to have an arcane object that makes people go, what in the heck is that? And what does it do? And then you can get into a really good story conversation piece. This, I know, sitting on a shelf is going to make people ask, like, what is that? Is that like a you know, like a bank or something? And it'll be like, no, there's no slots in it. This is actually the Lost Vault of Jesse James. And I think that's why I'll probably go for like the aged look one. Try to get one of those. Just not too. I've seen some that look like they came out of the ocean. So don't want that. Not that extreme. But this is very cool, Jesse. You know, you proved me that you could do it. So I want to see more like this. He did ask me to rip his Captain's Quest apart. I just do constructive feedback. I'm an idea guy. Ideas come to me pretty naturally. So like on this one, when we were turning the revolver bit inside and you were loading your bullet into your gun, it would have been cool if maybe that had been a little bit smaller, not the bullet, but just the housing, so that you could put an outline maybe of a profile of a person's head and have like manager at the top. That way when you're inside and you're putting the bullets in the gun, you could also kind of have like the bending the bars of, you know, like they used to take the horse and pull the bars out and go in and, you know, rescue their friends or break into the safe vault area that way. And then, you know, you'd have that whole thematic element of that whole revolver thing being in there. Well, if you're loading it, you're pointing the gun at the manager at that point, and their silhouette is in there. That would be like a cool touch. But this has great steps. You know, you got these moving metal spring bars, the brass, the mixed media. This thing slides up and shows a key out of nowhere. You got the whole vault to get into, and once you get in the vault, you got to open up a drawer. You got to, you know, get the cards free. Great progression. This is good. I'll give this one, honestly, for everything and what it is, this is like a 94 for me. Like, this is good stuff. I'm curious to see the future of his whole blending the adventure with the exploration and now actually involving more more mechanisms. You know, this is pretty cool to pull off in print, like a combination lock, but it is a combination lock. These are definitely cool mechanisms, and the fact it takes both to kind of get this open, that was a cool mechanism to unlock, and I'm not even quite sure exactly how that works inside. The drawer with the card and the key thing here, those are mechanisms. Those are what, you know, metagrabologists really want to see. And so, yeah, you keep marrying the two together, and I think you'll really keep seeing improvements and boons in your designs, Jesse. You know, you come a long way. So that's my review, you guys. Get them; they're unlimited. $289, I believe. So less than $300, and you get a mixed media SD puzzle with a really good all-around vibe and theme and feel to it. So there you guys go. I have some more stuff. I've been working a long time on a precision video over periods of time, different shirts, different puzzles. Look at this bad boy. That's what these actually go to. These are the different woods. This is that new Mark McCallum. I was able to get an early pick on it. Look at that Cocobolo. But we'll get into that, and and this Bastogne walnut is just insane. But yeah, we'll get into that with my precision one. Ooh, oh my goodness, what did I just do? That's fine. And I'll have more videos coming for you guys, because I have some free time right now while I'm going through a whole career change. Jesse, thumbs up. Awesome. Holler at me if you see this video. I might send it to you in a link. And you guys have a good one. Peace.